is Legacy Motor Club. They look incredibly strong. They finally look like one of those competitive Toyota teams, because it was always like Joe Gibbs Racing, 2311, or they're competing, especially this year with 2311, and Legacy Motor Club had just been kind of there. They don't have as close of a relationship with Joe Gibbs Racing as 2311 does, so they don't get as much information. I know over the last couple of months they've signed a deal to get more information from Joe Gibbs Racing, so that could be the thing that's really helping them right now, is that little bit of information they're getting from Joe Gibbs. Not exactly sure, but they have found speed over the last month. Eric Jones has been consistently running top 10, top 5, and honestly, couple things fall a little different. He could have 1 or 2 wins over the last month, because he's been right there in the thick of things at the end of these races. And then John Hunter has shown some speed here and there. He hasn't quite been getting the finishes that he's been wanting and maybe even deserving. Of course, this past weekend he finally did, getting a top 5 finish. So good on John Hunter Nemechek getting a good race in at Pocono for sure. But Legacy Motor Club, they have finally turned the corner, I feel like. And with all these celebrity investors coming in, with Jimmy Johnson being a part of this NASCAR community as much as he is, doing as much as he does for this race team, not just the ins and outs inside the building, but also from helping promote the race team, helping with sponsors, obviously helping with the 27 celebrity investors I just mentioned. I think everything's looking up for Legacy Motor Club, and they have 2 great drivers at the moment, with the third probably being Riley Herbst on the way, maybe somebody different, but most likely Riley Herbst joining the race team next year. But we saw what John Hunter did in the O'Reilly series a couple years ago with Joe Gibbs Racing. He's clearly a very talented race car driver. I would consider him to potentially be the most successful driver to be part of Kyle Busch Motorsports of the Truck Series. William Byron right in that conversation as well. Very successful down in the Truck Series. And then at the Cup Series level, I think he's definitely shown speed at times. And I think now it's more consistent speed. He's staying out of trouble. He's not causing as many wrecks as he did when he first joined the Cup Series. John Hunter has proven that he's a Sunday guy. Eric Jones, I've said it time and time again, I think he's the most underrated driver in the Cup Series, and he continues to prove that. He is the only reason he ended up leaving Joe Gibbs Racing, because they had to make room for Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell is one of the biggest talents in the sport. Obviously, you're going to pick Christopher Bell over Eric Jones, but Eric Jones isn't a slouch, and I think he's going to get a win before this year's up. I think he's probably even going to make the playoffs the way it's looking. It's just, everything is looking up for Legacy. Tyler, how are you feeling about Legacy Motor Club right now? They look really good.
I mean, they have the 3 most important keys right now you can hope for, right? Money, information, a happy Jimmy Johnson. I mean, I don't think you can get better than that. Once you get Jimmy happy and him feeling like they're actually getting somewhere and doing something, I feel like there's nothing but up from there, and that's scary. So anybody that's been watching NASCAR in the last 20 years knows that a happy Jimmy Johnson can change the world. And I'm not ready for that. And like you said, they have some great drivers behind the wheel, and probably about to get another one with Riley Herbst. He's coming in with all kinds of information coming out of 2311. So, I mean, they're only going up from here. There's no, with those 3 things, there's almost a guarantee of success, right? So we're going to see one of those cars in victory lane soon. Will it be consistent? I don't know. I mean, you have some teams above them that have been working at this for a very long time. Hopefully it's not a flash like Trackhouse seemed to be there for a minute, and some of these other teams that come up real fast and real quick and show a glimmer of hope and then don't anymore. So I'm hopeful for them. I really am. They, like I said, they have the 3 keys that you're going to need, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to take it down a Gibbs team or Hendrick, or, Gibbs or Hendrick.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to take those teams on for sure. And yeah, I've been just pleasantly impressed by Legacy Motor Club over the last month. Eric Jones looks fantastic, competing for wins, top 5s. I think at this point it's probably going to make the chase. John Hunter Nemechek is finally living up to that potential, because I think he has the equipment finally behind him to really get the job done. And then you have Jimmy Johnson, who, like you were talking about, happy Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was really happy the other night on that Le Mans radio show, or whatever, radio broadcast, I should say. Jimmy Jam came out. He was having a lot of fun there. But I love Jimmy Johnson, his passion for racing, for NASCAR, for motorsports. And it seems like Legacy Motor Club are trying their best to become one of those top flight teams in NASCAR. And it's exciting to watch. I love to see more competition, more competitive rides. I love to see it. And then they're probably going to have another competitive ride with Riley Herbst. Like you were just saying, Riley Herbst is probably going to bring some information over from 2311. And they're like, all right, the Legacy's like, all right, we're going to do this. Well, while I was at 2311, we did this, so he's going to be able to bring that to it as well. So everything's looking up for Legacy Motor Club. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about all this? Legacy Motor Club is looking really good right now. Eric Jones is putting great finishes together. John Hunter gets a good finish. And what do you think the future is of this young race team?